Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It's just finished. West Ham United 1, Aston Villa 1. They will be remaining in the Premier League for next season. So we've got a few Aston Villa regulars that watch this channel. I'm genuinely really happy for them actually. Out of the three clubs, I was hoping Villa would stay up. They're the bigger club out of the three, aren't they? And it'll be interesting to see what they do next season. But anyway, here to talk about the game. Not that there's much to talk about. It was a bit of a boring one, weren't it? On the beach. Gonzo's on the beach. Not literally, but he's away. He's having his post-season holiday already, so I've been left behind to do it on my one. So here I am. I'm afraid you got put up with me. But the first half, there wasn't much, was there? Well, there was one change. Johnson got moved to left back through injury. Cresswell was injured, and Masuaku got injured last night. If you believe that or not, there'll obviously be a few conspiracy theories that he's just on his way out and that's why he was injured. I do think he was probably injured. I think Felipe Anderson coming on at the end there shows that Moyes is willing to bring on a player despite the fact they might be on their way out. But Ben Johnson left back before the game, I was a bit disappointed by that. I was looking forward to seeing Ben Johnson up against Jack Grealish. I thought he was going to get a really good test. I thought he had one against Marcus Rashford, more than held his own. So I was looking to see how he did against Grealish and what is a huge game for Jack. And to get him on the left, it was a bit of a shame, but I'll do the player thing. I'm going to try and keep the structure as much as possible despite being myself. Big chance for Antonio though, isn't it? What a pass from Diop. Where's he got that from? Diop's distribution is usually a little bit iffy, but to ping that ball over the top for Antonio was brilliant. Then the first touch is really good, to be fair, given it's coming out the sky like that. You had Konsa right behind him. The first touch is brilliant, but the effort is just. This is where he's been fantastic, Antonio. He's been our best player post lockdown. Huge goals that's kept us up and stuff. But we're just dealing with this one game in particular. That's all. We're not dealing with what he'd done against Norwich and what he'd done against Watford today against Villa. And we saw the lack of natural striker in Antonio there. We saw it in the other game as well, Burnley, wasn't it? He was in a very similar situation, one-on-one with the keeper, and he put it wide, and you just think, oh, there's a chance for you to stake your claim as the number one striker at West Ham. That was it, and Moyes will be forgiven for looking at that, thinking he'll be a good backup striker or a first choice sort of winger, but as an actual out-and-out starter next season, I think Moyes might be wondering if he needs to change that. I thought he was lucky not to get sent off, actually, Antonio. I don't think he should have been booked. I don't think that was a booking, the foul he did get yellow carded for. But when you're on a booking, to then go and do that second tackle, it was just stupid. It was very unnecessary. He sort of forced Moyes into subbing him at half-time, really. The subs obviously came. To be fair, the first half, I thought we were looking all right. I thought Villa were very nervous. You could tell they didn't know what the scores were. You know, Dean Smith said before the game he didn't want to know in the first half. He was waiting until half-time until he heard what was going on at Watford and what was going on at Bournemouth. And the funny thing is, if someone had told them what was going on at Watford and said it's 3-0 Arsenal, they might have chilled out a little bit. But I thought you could see the nerves in Villa. They were not happy. I thought we were sort of, I say, the better team. I thought we had a lot of possession, but we didn't do anything with it, did we? We were very hesitant to get the ball in the box for some reason, which is a bit frustrating really, because we're so good in the air recently. Solskjaer was getting in the box, we just weren't putting the ball in the area. That was something that would continue throughout for the rest of 90 minutes as well. I found that thoroughly frustrating. But at half time, two substitutions, Sebastian Haller and Yarmolenko came on for Antonio and Bowen. Now it was a bit disappointing not to see Bowen second half, but you can understand it, can't you? He was deemed supposedly 50-50 for this one after getting injured against Man United. I thought Antonio had to come off. He was one foul away from getting sent off. But saying that, would the referee have actually sent him off? Don't know. Michael Oliver, most inconsistent referee in the league, and a lot of referees can be inconsistent from game to game, or one ref and the second ref can be different, and that's an inconsistency. But Michael Oliver is generally inconsistent from foul to foul, and from the 5th minute to 15th minute, it's like you've swapped the referees during the game when he's your man in charge. He's a horrible referee. I don't like him because I can almost accept a poor ref because you know he's poor. You know what you're going to get. You know, I think it's Tierney gives the most fouls in the league. That's fine. You know that before you start. But with Oliver, you just don't know what you're going to get. So the second half come out and it got worse somehow. The game somehow got worse. It was just, you could almost tell that Villa knew they only needed a point come the second half, because they came out and they were strolling the ball around. They started to crank up the gears, to be fair. For the first 15 minutes maybe after the restart, they were starting to try and put pressure on us. But I think we were inviting it. I think we were struggling to deal with what they had to offer, which I don't even think was much. I thought one player in particular I thought was poor throughout, but I'm going to stick to the individual performers and try and give them all a fair grading. But one player in particular might get a bigger wrath than the other. There wasn't that much to talk about, really. Fabianski didn't have much to do, and Vena didn't have much to do until it was 1-0 Villa. It was a good strike by Grealish. I mean, it was clean, wasn't it? He hit it well with his left foot. But it's got to go down as a howler from Fabianski. How he doesn't get this, I don't know. I know it swerves, but the more I watch it, the more I think, oh, Fab, mate, what have you done here? Because initially you think it's taken a deflection, and when you watch the replays, you realise Fredericks doesn't even get a deflection on it. He just lets Grealish get onto his left and have a shot. And Fabianski should be saving that one. He really should be. I don't think it was a deserved lead for Aston Villa. I thought they were probably the better team in the second half, but I thought we were slightly better in the first half. That's by no means credit to each team. It's more that the other team were poor, if that makes sense. And then 2 minutes later, Yarmolenko scores. Yarmolenko hits Grealish and loops in. A bit of a freak goal. I mean, could you imagine we went on to win that game and you look at that goal and that's the goal that's changed the game and almost put Villa down? But I'll tell you something. Yarmolenko, this is why I like him on the pitch. He shoots. It's just as simple as that. And it sounds so basic, but it is that basic. The first half we didn't shoot. No one would shoot. We were pass. Rice was shooting badly, but Rice was shooting. But that was it. There was no one else taking on shots. Surely Fornals can hit the ball from 25 yards, right? Has he done it? I don't remember him taking a shot. Jared Bowen was another game where he doesn't really have an effort from outside the box. Neither fullback had a shot. Noble didn't have a shot. Solchek didn't have a shot. Nobody was shooting except Rice. So Yarmolenko comes on and he's trying to get onto his left constantly. He got caught out a couple of times. But he takes the effort. Does it go in without Grealish standing there? No, it doesn't. It's probably a routine save for Rihanna. We don't know. But it loops in. But you've just got to be in it to win it, haven't you? You can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. So he takes his effort, and you know something. Sometimes in life, you just make your own luck, and that's exactly what he does. He makes his own luck there. It's just a freak goal. It's simple as that. But that was it, really, wasn't it? I mean, after that, you could see Villa time wasting, and rightly so. They knew what the results were around the grounds, and they knew that they had a point. Bournemouth couldn't get them anyway, so they knew that Watford needed 2 goals to go on and win the game. So that was it, 1-1. And for West Ham, it was not the greatest game to watch and stuff, was it? But our season finished at the final whistle against Old Trafford. We were mathematically safe as of then, so it's no surprise that we didn't necessarily turn up today. Bournemouth fans will be looking at our game tonight and wishing that we possibly had something to play for, so that we could have gone on and got something against Villa, and because Bournemouth done their job, but they fell short because we didn't win. But it's not our fault, is it? You do your own stuff. You've had 37 games to get enough points to not go down, so it's not on us. Unlucky Bournemouth. That's just the way that's just how football works. You know, I could have a look at some of the Bournemouth games in the last couple. To be fair, actually, Bournemouth were playing a team that had nothing to play for today and benefited off the back of that. Had they been playing someone like Man United, I don't think they would have won. But because they were playing against Everton, whose season was over, they got the 3 points. So it swings and roundabouts, really, isn't it? But as for us today, I don't know. I'm not pleased, but I'm not disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm very neutral about it. It was a bit boring, wasn't it? If I wasn't a West Ham fan, I would not have been watching that game. I would have put it on at the start because Villa were heavily involved in the bottom 3 race. But come the end of it, I think I'd have switched off just due to being a bit poor, really. But individual performers, this is probably the more meatier part, really. I thought I'll start with the really bad one, will I? Ryan Fredericks. He was awful. He was just awful from start to finish. Grealish had him in his pocket from the whole game. Grealish went in on him early doors, and Fredericks reacted, jumped up and said, well, I think Grealish almost thought, well, there you go, I've done you now. You're already, I'm living rent-free in your head, if you like. And it showed throughout. I thought Fredericks' defensive side was really, really poor going forward. He just won't cross the ball. Why will he not cross the ball? I know he's not very good at it, but at least played a lot of averages and stick 10 in and hope 3 of them are half decent. He wasn't even doing that. Ben Johnson, on the other hand, thought he was fantastic. I really did think he was brilliant. Out of position, he's on his least favourable side. And I know he can play there, but he's not a left back. He's a right back. And the fact is, he played better at left back than our right back played at right back. It's not good for Ryan Fredericks. If he... I don't necessarily think we need to spend big money in the summer on the right back position. But I'll tell you something, I don't want to see Ryan Fredericks at West Ham next season. I don't see... He's just not good enough. He's had long enough now to show us what he's got, and what he's showing us is, championship ability. It's just not good. I thought Ben Johnson, though, was showing us that he potentially deserves to start the season as our first choice right back. Really, really good performance from him. I thought the centre backs were really good again, and didn't do too much well. The midfield, I thought it was lethargic, maybe. I don't think they were quite all at the races. I thought Rice had another really good game. You could see he was determined to get a goal, can't you? I just hope it wasn't because it was his last game for us. He wanted to sign off with a goodbye to the West Ham fans, but I thought he turned up well. I thought Noble was alright, but the problem with Noble is this is the wrong kind of game for him, because Noble's a good player for retaining possession and moving the ball around, but we didn't really need that today. We needed someone that could unlock Villa's defence, and Noble was looking good for the first half. I thought he was playing well. He's doing that ball in between the full-back and centre-back to get Fredericks in behind quite often. But the problem is Fredericks ain't good enough. So once Fredericks got it, there was just nothing there. It just died. So I just thought it wasn't the right game for Mark today. I thought Souček was didn't really see him, to be honest with you. Well, I did see him. I see him a few times running into the box, but the problem is no one was crossing it. We just wouldn't put the ball in, which it just baffles me. We've had such great success the last few games in the air with set pieces and stuff, but even in open play. And we really missed Jared Bowen, because Bowen and Johnson, to me, were the only two players willing to cross the ball. No one else really wanted to get the ball in the box. And Souček, bless him, kept running in. And then it just wasn't coming in. And eventually you're going to give up as a player. You're just going to think, well, I'm not going to bother next time because the ball ain't coming in the last 3 times. Well, why will it suddenly come in the 4th time? Fornals, he's a really hard player to sort of analyse, because sometimes he'll get the ball and you do a quick pass, just one touch pass, and you think, right, here we go, this is good. But he doesn't really contribute enough in open play in the final third to justify. We've got 3.5 attacking positions. Let's take Noble's position out of it. So we've got Bowen, Fornals and the striker. So to play in one of those 3, you need to be contributing or scoring, or ideally a bit of both. And at the minute, for the last few games, Fornals hasn't done neither. I know he got his assist against Watford, but it did take a wicked deflection. We just need to see a bit more from him. But he's clearly got the ability. I'm a big fan of Fornals, but not positioned on that left wing area. I don't like him out there. Thought Bowen did alright, tried hard enough, but you could tell he wasn't 100% today. I think maybe he'd been told not to give 100%, just take it easy. Maybe the sub was pre-planned, or he was feeling something when he went off at half-time. I don't know, but he's not someone I was looking at. Today I wasn't looking at Jared Bowen or Souček or Declan Rice and saying, well, what have you got? I'm looking more at Fredericks and Johnson and saying, well, here's your chance, stake your claim for next season. Bowen's already in the team for next season. Souček, Rice, they're in the team for next season. They've got nothing to prove today. It's up to the others, and I don't think many of them turned up. I thought Antonio, again, worked hard, but was lucky not to get sent off. Being honest, if I was a Villa fan, I would have been fuming if they end up getting relegated. Looking at that Antonio one, that he should have got a second yellow. Subs, like I said, I thought Yarmolenko come on. But again, he wouldn't cross the ball, would he? He kept getting the ball and going toe-to-toe with the left-back, and then cutting back all the time rather than just crossing it. Made his luck for the goal. Alier should have done better with his opportunity, really. Got the one time we did put the cross in, it was him that was on the end of it. But Felipe Anderson, come on. Bit of a pointless sub, to be honest with you. I think I would have rather seen Silva come on if Felipe's off in the summer. And then the one time, I know I'm being a bit overly critical here, but I'm just going to say it. Johnson put the ball down the left at the end, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes ago. He literally just come on the pitch, Felipe Anderson, and Anderson just jogged after it. Now, even if he sprinted, he was probably not going to get there. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit of something from someone who's just come on the pitch, and bear in mind, he's going to be on the pitch for 5 minutes at the most. I would have liked to have seen him run after it, just for the sake of showing a little bit of effort, and he just jogged, and I thought, there we go. If we ever needed confirmation that you're not going to be here for a while longer, or you're planning on leaving, I think we might have just got it. In regards to the whole thing, really, been a bit of a disaster of a season, isn't it? It's not really been a good season. I'm going to do a cup of tea with Gonzo later this week. Wednesday's our usual week, so we'll try to do it on Wednesday. We'll just be taking a look back at the season. We'll be having a little review as to where it's gone wrong, because while we're relieved to have stayed up, it's not something I can celebrate. Like, I celebrated it after the Man United game against the Watford game. It was more about the wins and the performances. I'm not going to suddenly start doing cartwheels because we've finished 15th in the league. I assume we've finished 15th in the league, because the last I know, actually no, Brighton were winning, weren't they? So if Brighton's gone on and won, then we finished 16th. So okay, right, we're 16th. I'm sorry, we're 16th in the league. I'm not going to do cartwheels for finishing 16th in the league. I'm not going to jump for joy and say it was a good season. It wasn't. It's been a terrible season. I've enjoyed post-lockdown, though. I thought we played some really good football. Seeing some attacking play. We're dangerous from set pieces. Got a little more strings to our bow now, haven't we? I feel like there's a variety to our play. Lanzini, come on. How did I forget about Lanzini? Hey, come on. Well, that's why I forgot about him. He didn't do much, did he? He gave away a free kick. Well, he won a free kick as well. Then the free kick wasn't very good, was it? He just chipped it into the wall. And there's a guy, though. You get a free kick 20 yards out, and you've got the ability. We've seen Lanzini score free kicks before. We know he can do it. But to see somebody walk up to the free kick and try that, it's a bit disheartening, to be honest with you. To see he just smacks of no confidence, and I just feel a bit. Just want to give him a big cuddle. Do you know what I mean? I want to say, Manu, come here, mate. It's all right. You're still a top player. Go do something. But he just didn't show it today. He just didn't have it in him. The confidence is just gone altogether. As for Aston Villa, I thought you'd done all right today. It was I would call it a professional performance from Villa. In what is a very difficult situation, because you need to know what's going on in the other games, especially with Bournemouth winning and comfortably. You know that West Ham take the lead, you drop into the bottom three. So they've done it, Villa, and if you offered Dean Smith this situation before the game, he'd have bit your hand off for it. If you offered Moyes, to be honest with you, I think he offered Moyes a chance today, a point, and you stay up. I think he would have bit your hand off for it as well, pre-lockdown. So Villa fans, West Ham fans watching this, happy days. We go again next season. We will meet again next season. I'm going to bounce. There's just not that much to talk about today. It was a pretty boring game, weren't it? But if you're new to Hammer's Chat, do subscribe and drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. Oh, my man of match. We're doing a man of match, don't we? I don't know. There's nobody really jumping out. No, actually there is. Ben Johnson. I do generally think Ben Johnson was superb today. And context is required here. He's a young lad. What is it, his 5th game in the Premier League? 4th game in the Premier League? He's playing out of position technically. In what is a very high pressure game for Aston Villa. I thought Trezeguet can be a tricky opponent. I thought in the first half, barely seen Trezeguet. Second half, I thought we saw a bit more of him. They started to come down that right hand side a bit more. But I thought he held his own. And going forward, I thought it looked quite good. I generally thought Ben Johnson looked quite good going forward, especially in the second half. He was doing a couple of 1-2s with players and getting in behind Gilbert and getting the ball in the box with his weaker foot, which was promising. They weren't the worst crosses in the world. I've seen worse crosses from other West Ham players with their stronger foot. So Ben Johnson, man of the match really. I don't think he had too much contenders today, to be honest with you. We've got lots of content coming up, despite the fact that the season's finished now. The new season's only 6 weeks away. It's not that long, is it? Transfer window opens tomorrow. We've got no money, but the transfer window is open. Anyway, I'm going to go. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Scouting you around here, and I'll catch you on another video very, very soon. See you later.